What's up, party people? We had an election recently. We had a Federal Reserve meeting. We had a Fed chairman announcement. We've got some action in the market. DFW Real Estate is waking up. We're getting into it today. That and your questions and comments right here on DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti. I am Todd Tremonti. We got the full crew in studio. We got the Yanni Donnie, the English Wonder. We got Full Price Courtney. We got the whole crew. And you can send us your questions and comments. 214-310-0008. Call or text 214-310-0008. You can also just anytime Google Todd Tremonti or go online too.
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
But we are going to discuss what's happening in our local market relative to what's happening globally, nationally, politically, and in other aspects of the market. But before we do that,
this first segment is going to be brought to you by Patrick Gleros and his team at Cardinal Financial. Like we've told you for years now, if you're looking to refinance, if you just have questions about the mortgage industry, reach out to Patrick. Go to his website. You can start an application right there, Glaros, patrickgleros.com, 972-728-3420 is the phone number, NMLS number 308804. And as always, you can go to toddtremontiteam.com. You can click on the radio tab and you can find all of our recommended pros and vendors right there.
So as we talked about last week, there are many, many people who for a long time have said, I'm not moving until. There
Correct.
are many, many people that have said, we will sell if Trump gets elected. We will never buy if Trump gets, whatever. Well, as predicted, post-election, we are seeing pretty notable uptick in overall activity. People who want to sell, people who are ready and willing to buy. And traditionally, this is the beginning of a downward trend of activity just because we head into the winter months, which I have said for years and years and years, the fall and winter months are my preferred time personally to buy and sell. We have helped thousands of clients over the years take advantage of that strategy and do really well. So even though there's typically a downturn in activity, we're seeing an uptick in activity because there was already a softening of activity due to waiting for the election, things like that. So there's a million factors involved, but that's one that's pretty clearly discernible in our market right now. People are out and willing to be more active. We also saw a 25 basis points, 1/4 percentage point drop from the Federal Reserve last week. That has not really showed up a ton in mortgage rates yet. We saw a little bit of movement down, a little movement up, a little movement back down, but we are seeing rates in the sixes again. And so a lot of people are able to be mid to low sixes with some investment, with some cash up front to buy down or some incentives from the seller or the builder who's also the seller. So we're seeing positive movement. In A, we're just past the election. B, some are happy. The economy, the markets tend to be responding really well to a Trump election. And a bump down in overall bank rates, which has had some positive effect on mortgage rates and may have some more. So that's kind of what's happening in the market. As far as on the ground, we'll get into that more as we make our way through the show, but we are seeing buyers more open to buying. We are seeing sellers kind of race to get their homes on the market, and then more sellers really ready to prepare to get their home on the market early next year. One thing we do here at the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team that I want to make available to all of our friends and listeners and viewers and neighbors is we offer what we call a free strategy session. So if you're even vaguely thinking about buying a home, selling a home, or investing in residential real estate anytime in the future, I mean, one day, 1 year, 1 decade, doesn't matter. We've been here 20-something years. We'll be here 20-something more years. But what we do is between now and the end of January, we set aside a bunch of our afternoons for our full-time professional real estate pros to sit down with you in person, ideally, but we can do that by Zoom as well. In person, we'll buy you a cup of coffee, Topo Chico, Coke, water, whatever you're into. We'll answer whatever questions you have about your goals, your dreams, what's affordable, what's possible. We'll also give you our 2025 real DFW market outlook, what we expect to happen, and the strategies that we will be using ourselves and with our clients to benefit in the maximum potential that we have in residential real estate in DFW in 2025. If you'd like to sign up for a free strategy session, 30 to 90 minutes of you asking any question you want, plus us giving you some advice and guidance and strategy to buy, sell, invest, or just enjoy your home, you can do that, and you can book one between now and the end of January. So it doesn't have to be a rush, but if you're in a hurry, we can do that. Just text the word strategy to 214-310-0008, or you can call right now, 214-310-0008. And of course, you can go online to toddtremonteteam.com. That's toddtremonteteam.com. And you can click any button, call any phone number, fill out any form, submit any option that you want, and we'll get you taken care of. If you're ready to talk, let's talk. If you want to meet, you don't have to be ready to buy or sell, but we can get together for 30 to 90 minutes for a free strategy session. You don't have to sign anything, and be prepared to buy when the kids leave, or to downsize after retirement, or to go a little bit bigger when the baby comes, or to move to a better area, or get on the water, or whatever your dreams are. You cannot start that conversation too early. Sadly, most people start it too late, and the later that conversation comes along, the fewer the options, the more impulsive you end up having to be or needing to be. And truth be told, you end up in a worse situation financially, familially, and just the freedoms that come with getting to pick and finding what you want are less the later you start this conversation. So go out and snag a free strategy session with one of our full-time real estate pros specializing in buyers or sellers, either out of our Fort Worth office or our Richardson office, or we could do that by Zoom if we need to. Just call or text 214-310-0008. 214-310-0008. Now, Courtney looks like she has a question on her mind. She's got the mic ready. Let me unmute and let's just see what happens next.
Todd, what am I going to regret in 2025? Because it's just like coming like a freight train.
So I like the question. And if I were unpacking it, I would say, let's go back and look at some things people have regretted historically, right? So you were not on our team yet in the COVID-19 lockdown and post-COVID real estate bonanza run-up that was not fun. It was active. It was crazy. People thought the market was good. The market was not good. It was damaged and broken, but it was very active, and values were skyrocketing. So here's what's crazy.
I mean, I was so panicked that I thought someone was going to come take my house. I wasn't even in the market. Well, that's how it felt.
I got interviewed on every major media, radio and TV, all over DFW because I made a comment in one interview that at one of our properties, women were outside in line fighting with umbrellas about getting into one of our homes. And it's true. It wasn't like a giant sword fight, but literally there was like a swing an umbrella at someone to get back in line, don't cut kind of situation. All that to say, think about, just follow my logic here. Let's just say that was late 2020. Let's just call it 2021 for easy round numbers, the year of 2021. There was multiple offers, tons of competition, and buyers were super unhappy. You know, I can barely get in a house by the time it's off the market. There's 18 offers. I'm having to pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over. Let me ask you this. Somebody that wants to buy a house today, do you think they regret not buying one then? The answer is yes. We talk to people all the time that were like, that market sucked, but interest rates were 3.25%, and that house is worth 10 or 15% more today than it was then. Even though then it felt insanely overpriced, I could borrow at between 3 and 4%, some people under 3%. And even though that felt like an outrageous price at the day, that price has continued to grow 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% every year since then, depending on what part of town. Some areas have been more flat than others. But there are people that are like, gosh, as much as that stunk, I wish I just would have bought that. And people then said, forget it. I'm going to wait until prices come down. I'm going to wait until rates are even better. Well, rates are worse. Prices are higher. There is less competition right now, but it's coming back a little. I don't expect it to be like 2021, but I expect there to be a more stable, standard give and take market in 2025. So just think about that. Those people are regretting not buying then. Now, when my parents were younger, and interest rates at some point were 17, 18%, that just seemed outrageous. And many of them waited. They got lower rates, but they got much more expensive houses. They wish they wouldn't have waited. Most of us can look back 10 years and just say, gosh, I wish I would have bought 3 of anything. I wish I wouldn't have waited. So what are people going to regret in 2025? They're going to regret, if they can afford it and if they're ready, they are going to regret not buying today. Now, if you are a seller only, I think you can be patient. Now, I do think I would rather be a buyer today than a buyer in February, March, April, or probably anytime next year. So if you're selling and buying, then I would want to be selling now and buying now. It's a great time to sell and a better time to buy. Next year might be a slightly better time to sell just because we think we're going to have more competition, more attractive rates, and slightly fewer homes on the market. But if you're selling and buying, or you're just buying, I think in 2025 you'll regret not buying during this slower, softer, less active, more affordable market. Even though rates are probably higher today than they will be next year, I think just about every other factor is better for a buyer right now. More negotiability from a seller, more willingness to wiggle with you, fix something, make a credit, help with the buy down, less offers to compete with, more access to homes, more homes to look at. I think all those things are going to shift back into the seller's favor. Almost every single one of those factors will be shifting more and more back towards a seller's favor almost every day that we move forward for the foreseeable future. So I think people will really regret not buying or selling and buying now. Thoughts?
Well, I read, which I think your perspective and this conversation is really helpful because I think you can take advantage of how the media is communicating something versus like the truth. But I was just reading that that things look better, but consumers' perception of home buying conditions still feels strained and hesitant. And I just wanted you to speak to like how people are perceiving the Fed cuts and just the overall feeling of this post-election and how to navigate it.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think what you just stated is true. People's perception of home buying right now is still a little bit funky. That's the advantage. I'm telling you that the fundamentals are good for you. The mindset is still really wonky. So overcome a wonky mindset, be courageous, and buy a 2024 house at, let's just say, 2023 prices. You know, in a lot of places it's been pretty flat. There's been a little bit of dipping and there's been a little bit of growth. But generally, up until 2022, we were seeing huge 8, 9, 10, 12, 15% annual appreciation in certain places since 2020. In 17, 18, 19, we were getting back to normal from another crazy run up. In 18 and 19, we're looking like 3, 4, 5% instead of more than that. So we felt like we were getting back to normal. COVID jolted us into this crazy abnormal. And then it feels like we've gotten kind of a slightly below normal, which is in some areas 0, 1, or 2% of value growth, which is still growth, by the way. There have been some areas where there's been more, but it's just been a slower growth market. I'm telling you, buy in that market. And then in 3, 6, 9 months, if rates are down more and there's more activity and more optimism and more calm and more clarity around who's in charge, how are things working, you are going to see more real estate activity, more competition. More demand drives up price. More demand eats up some of the supply that has grown from a couple of years of lower sales activity. So all the fundamentals say now is a better time to buy. But to your point, emotion, mindset, messaging says this is still funky and wonky. But look at what the stock markets did. Look at what the cryptos have done since the election. They have liked one of two things. They have liked that Trump won, or they've liked that the election is over. I don't care which it is, and I don't know. But one of those two things, and maybe it's something else, but likely one of those two things has caused the stock market to go up, cryptocurrency values to go up, the interest in asset investing, which real estate is a real physical asset, to go up. We have seen big funds, big financial funds with hundreds of millions or billions of dollars releasing funds for investment in property again. certainly in residential, even in commercial. So there are signs that the market will become more favorable to sellers, that values will climb more, that will be more activity, more competition, and lower interest rates. Last time the Fed made a cut, we didn't see rates come down much because it had already been priced in. People felt really, really confident that the Fed was going to make their cut. The 10-year Treasury would respond a certain way, and so mortgage rates were already there. So we saw the cut. They didn't move much. If anything, they kind of went up a little and then came back to where they were. In this recent cut, not much happened immediately, but in the few days following, we saw about a 0.3 point reduction from like 7.2 down to 6.9-ish on average, depending who you are and where you are. But all that to say, the fundamentals are unquestionably good for a buyer right now, and almost certainly better for a buyer or seller buyer combo right now than they will be next year.
Can I explain something that I think is important for people that are saying, I'm not quite ready now, but my plan is to do it in like 9 months, and therefore I'm going to wait? Here's another reason why it's important to start the process and reach out to somebody like Patrick, because they'll take a look at your credit, and for every like so many points, it equates to a better rate for you. I think it's like every 20 points on your credit score that you can get better, that will equate to a better mortgage rate for you. So if you start 9 months early and you're able to raise your credit by 40 points, you're in a much better, stronger position than you would be if you didn't do that.
And that supports setting up a free strategy session now, even if you're not thinking about moving till next summer, or 2 years when you're an empty nester, or 3 years when you're going to grow your family, or whatever it is. Yep. You cannot start the conversation too early, but most people start it too late. You might say, I have great credit though. Well, a great lender like Patrick will be like, man, you got excellent credit, but man, if we could get you up into this next category, I could save you 0.2 point, or I could offer a credit, or we don't have to charge this fee. And you could do that by simply paying off this one little thing you have over here, but don't pay this one off because that's establishing great credit for you. Just a little bit of coaching. This isn't like credit repair from the depths of despair. This is strategy. And the more time you have, the more strategy you can deploy, whether it's with your loan or what's available to you, or the ability to buy something that needs some work, or to learn about areas that maybe you're not aware of, or learn about programs or process or things you like and don't like. I will say this until the end of time. You cannot start that conversation about buying or selling residential real estate too early, but the vast majority, I would say 75% or more of people, start the conversation too late. It doesn't mean they end up distraught. They just end up in a worse situation than they could have ended up in if they were earlier to the conversation to be more prepared.
Yep. Let me tell you about DP Lambert and his team at Goosehead Insurance. He's been our go-to guy for years, whether it's your home insurance, your auto insurance. DP is who you need to reach out to. If he can get you the best deal, he's going to let you know that. He's going to do everything he can to get you the most coverage at the best price, and he has saved me thousands of dollars over the years. dp.lambert@goosehead.com is his email. And you can go to toddtremonteteam.com. You can click on the radio tab and you can find DP's info, Patrick's info, and all our recommended pros and vendors.
Yeah, so here's the state of the situation, is that there's some optimism in the market. The reality is that there is also still a tremendous amount of confusion, anxiety, lack of clarity, frustration, whatever other phrases you want to label. It's not like overnight everybody's rock solid. You got 40-something% of the country super sad that their candidate didn't get elected. You got a bunch of people that are like, oh, yay, 0.3 point on mortgage. We're still 3% higher than I was hoping to be. You got a bunch of people that are like, look, I've been saving for 5 years for a house, and I can't save fast enough to catch up on. There's still a tremendous amount of frustration and lack of clarity. But here's what I'm telling you. I believe the vast majority of people that want to buy now, that want to sell and buy now, or maybe even that just want to sell now, will regret in 2025 not getting that done in 2024, or not getting it done earlier. Let's say you got something going now and you moved in January or February. Fine, no big deal. The reality is this. What you are risking when you do that, among many other things that may be unique to your specific situation, and if you just call us, we'll help you evaluate your specific situation, 214-310-0008. But what many people are missing is that, let's just say March. Let's say March, April, May-ish, spring 2025. We are likely to, we will have inaugurated a new president. We will have probably seen one more Fed rate reduction, likely. We will have the clarity and stability of a new year, the optimism of a new year. We'll have fall and winter behind us. We'll have new beginnings of spring. We will have a little bit more of an established understanding that the market has been moving and shifting, but the media hasn't been with it. We'll be a little bit further down the road from shakeups in the real estate industry. The markets have so far responded well. We may be further and further into record-breaking positive market news. All of that is good for the economy, but in theory, it's bad for a buyer. More optimism, more competition, more activity, more energy, less inventory. So I can't say this strongly enough. You don't have to buy, sell, or do both now, but you ought to start that conversation right now at no cost or obligation to you. Call the Todd Tremonti home selling team. We have full-time, amazing, world-class professionals that will not pressure you. As a matter of fact, I think we have a waiting list right now, especially for sellers. But call, let's set up the conversation and help you get clarity, get a strategy for you and your family to win. Sell your house for more than your neighbors. Buy a home for less than everybody else. Find the strategy to get the lower rate, to be happy, to have the home that you dream of or that you dream of having next. We can do that. We will do that. We actually guarantee it. 214-310-0008.
Fannie Mae have something called the Home Purchase Sentiment Index, which basically is like confidence of home buyers.
Confidence,
ranges from 0 to 100%. The most recent number from October of this month is right around 75% optimism. It's like 74.6%.
Yep.
That's the highest it's been since we hit the low 2 years ago.
Yep.
Now, if what I'm looking at is a graph, and if that graph kind of continues in the same way, it's going to be similar. Like next summer is going to be similar to the summer of like 21.
Yep.
And we all can kind of remember what that was like.
It was bananas. That's data to support the narrative I just gave you. By the way, that was in October. That was before the election.
Right.
So almost undoubtedly, their November, December numbers will be more optimistic.
And it's been steadily increasing since October of 22.
Yeah, as it should be, by the way. We certainly have been saying since way before that, now is actually a good time to buy. It doesn't mean it's fun. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean it's cheap. Strategically, a good time to be in the housing market.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the show today, we've talked about the different perceptions and the different emotions that everybody, seems like we're hearing and seeing from buyers and sellers. And we've already said it. I'm just going to say it again. I think it just reinforces why our strategy sessions are so valuable, because your unique situation needs an expert.
Yeah, and we'll dig into more of the specifics of what you should be doing right now if you're a buyer or a seller when we come back after the break. But also we're going to talk a little bit about one more reason people love to live in Dallas. Did somebody get a Michelin star? We're food people around here, y'all. We're into it. Go ahead.
It just makes like talking about Dallas so fun.
We'll be right back after more news, traffic, and weather with what buyers and sellers ought to do and who got the Michelin star. Welcome back, party people. Welcome back to DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti. I'm Todd Tremonti. We've got the full price Courtney and the English wonder himself, the Yanni Donnie, Ian Daniels in studio. We're talking all things DFW residential real estate, post-election, post-rate reduction from the Fed, and really in many ways post-2024. What should buyers do? What should sellers do? We'll get into more details of how sellers and buyers can win. Of course, the number one thing you should do, no matter how far away, if buying, selling, or investing in residential real estate is in your wheelhouse in the next, let's say, 3 years, honestly, you're crazy to not take advantage of a completely free strategy session with one of our full-time specialists. You can do that by calling or texting the word strategy, or just call 214-310-0008. 0008. That's 214-310-0008. When we went to the break, we were talking about the fact that a Dallas restaurant was awarded a Michelin star. Before we started the show today, we were referencing the fact that Michelin is the tire company, but we can talk more about that right after this.
I mean, I had no idea.
Shocker. This first segment is going to be brought to you by Patrick Gleros and his team at Cardinal Financial. You can reach out to Patrick with any question that you've got about mortgages, about the mortgage industry. If you're thinking about refinancing, if you are just wanting to just ask a question, reach out to him. PatrickGleros.com, Glaros. You can start an application directly on his website. 972-728-3420 is the phone number. NMLS number 308804. And as we keep telling you, head over to ToddTremontiTeam.com, click on the radio tab, and you can find all of the recommended pros and vendors right there. Hey, before we get into food talk, can I give you a quick, funny family story?
Sure.
Yes.
So my brother, all my family, my English family, all still live in England. My brother took his oldest boy, a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this, took his oldest son, Oscar, he's 7, took him to his first Middlesbrough match a couple weeks ago.
Up the borough.
My dad was going, my uncle was going, they got the New Jersey, super excited to go. Made the trek 3 hours north. They get there.
Courtney, do you want to predict how the story ends? The 6-year-old nephew smashes a beer bottle over someone's head.
7.
Just throws down, pulls a switchblade.
Sounds right.
Could have happened. They get there, and he's so excited to go see his favourite player, Ben Doak. He's on loan from Liverpool. Get there, team is announced. Doak's out, injured, disaster.
Come on.
But he's got a new jersey, so he's happy. So he says, you know what, I'm going to go get a name printed on the back of the jersey. I can't get Doak because he's not playing. I'm going to get my second favourite player, Finna Zaz. So he gets a Zaz on the back of his jersey, okay?
Okay.
They're in the stadium. Fans are rocking. It's really exciting. 20 minutes into the game,
Gosh, I hope it pays off.
man gets sent off. We're down to 10 men.
Wow.
Substitutions happen. Finna Zaz taken off. And Borough, in his first ever game, lose 3-0. Here's what's funny. In the 2 games since then, we've won 4-1 and 5-1.
So he feels like he's bad.
Well, he declared he was never going back to the Riverside, and since he's declared that, we've scored 9 and conceded 2.
This is my favorite
It's
when
so
guys
great.
do this.
Listen, I quit hunting Monday morning. I was in a deer blind Monday morning, and what went down in there, I retired forever until Friday.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's the deal. You need to know, Courtney, about a movie called 100-Foot Journey.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Never even heard of it.
Tonight, you need to watch it. Helen Mirren. It's incredible.
love her.
You'll learn about Michelin stars, and we got to move on.
100-foot journey.
The
I'm writing
100-Foot Journey.
On
It's
it.
excellent. If you haven't seen it, Ian, you'll absolutely love it.
either.
I will be, if you don't love it, I'll buy you a meal. But I'll have to look into your eyes and find out if you're being honest about not loving it. Okay, so Tatsu in Deep Ellum Sushi Joint
I know which movie you're talking about.
gets a Michelin star. Not a Michelin pat on the head. Not like the lower part of the list where they just recommend and like you. The actual Michelin star, which is a really big deal. And I've never been there. So this is a completely unpaid, blind ad endorsement for Tatsu. But apparently it's legit.
I have seen this movie.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna go. It's a $185 a person and like set menu, 2 seatings. It's a big deal to get a resi. I mean, listen, I just got back from Paris and we did some Michelin star restaurants.
If only people could hear Ian's face.
If you can only hear my eye roll right now.
Guys, I just went to Paris and everything we got at this Michelin star had a foam, an added foam, and a schmear. It starts to be a caricature of itself.
So it's a lot of fluff.
It's
a lot of bougie.
hilarious.
A lot of made up words.
I love it.
Lots of aioli when it could just be mayonnaise.
So
Cryo prepped, or was it just in the refrigerator? I mean, what do we? Was it liquid nitrogen?
I say anything worth doing is worth overdoing. You know what I mean? And overpaying. Maybe I will go.
Full price Courtney.
Let's go.
All right, folks. Here's the thing: if you are a home buyer in DFW, and you're ready, and you can afford it, and your family's ready to move, and
It's a
you
great
want to
city
move,
to live in.
use the cover fire of, it's the holidays, it's the end of the year, rates aren't ideal. Use all of that to your advantage and buy soon. Now, if you're not ready and your finances are ready and your family's not ready, then definitely do not do that. We'll be here later. But even then, schedule a free strategy session to get your ducks in a row so that if the perfect property at the perfect price in the perfect place pops up, you can act quickly. You can do all of that by calling or texting 214-310-0008 and simply saying, hey, I want a free strategy session, 30 to 90 minutes, answering all your questions, giving you our 2025 DFW real estate market outlook, letting you know the strategies we're using for ourselves and our own families, as well as hundreds of our other clients, and also potentially getting you on a waiting list so that you can move forward with us when you are ready, instead of waiting to the last minute, losing out on opportunities, and having to wait longer than you really, really want to. You can go to toddtremonteteam.com. That's toddtremonteteam.com, or text the word strategy or call 214-310-0008. Now, things like Michelin stars don't sound like they belong on a real estate show, but they do, because these are the reasons that cities get ranked in best places to live, and restaurants get well known, and people want to live in a certain community. Recreation, retail, shopping, parks, all these things matter. And DFW is basically crushing almost every other major metropolitan area in the world, certainly in the United States, I would say for the last 20 years. Obviously, there are other desirable places to live, and people have different reasons they want to be certain places. But Dallas tends to weather any economic storms as well or better than others. Even though things feel expensive right now, our relative affordability of housing compared to most other places in the country that have all the resources we do is still affordable. And we actually have housing inventory. Believe it or not, there are still parts of the country that feel a lot like that COVID market. The far northeast is very low inventory, highly competitive. Now, the southeast and Florida and things like that have extremely high inventory and softer markets. We are more stable. We are more in the middle, more manageable, more doable, really for almost anybody. So if you're thinking about buying, now's a great time. If you're thinking about selling and buying, now's a critical time. If you're thinking about only selling for any reason, you can be a bit more patient, but I would still be at least getting ready to go on the market right now, if not going on the market. Just in the last couple of weeks, we put a few homes on the market that went right away for record-breaking prices. So I would not necessarily be uber patient, but if you're a seller only, you can certainly be a bit more patient than a buyer only or a buy-sell combo. Now, as almost all of our listeners know, we specialize in a couple of things. Neighborhood homes in most of DFW, where we do specialize and have a full marketing plan for that type of property in those situations. We'll guarantee to sell your home over the average price and under the average time, which means you get more money than your neighbors and you get a better deal than your neighbors. This isn't about beating up your neighbors. It's just about getting you what's best for you. The other thing we specialize in is what we call homes on land. Basically, this is a house with a really big yard, half acre, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 acres, things like that. And this time of year, I believe there's almost no more fun season to have the bigger backyard, right? The weather's nicer. We finally got some rain, so things are greening up and growing well. It's cooler out. I was hitting the volleyball with my girls just this week. We played some pickleball. The garden is exploding. I got more tomatoes and peppers than I know what to do with right now. It's just fun to be outside. It's comfortable. Dana and I sat on the patio this week, had a glass of wine. Like, all those things are just so much more approachable. And it's not like, oh, there's one more thing. All of that opens up this time of year. And then, of course, as we head into the holidays, depending on what you celebrate or how you decorate, that outdoor area becomes an even more custom, communicates your values and the vibe and the energy you want to create in your home. So Ian and Courtney, when you think about the holidays, regardless of whether you guys have fairly typical, now Ian's got a really amazing backyard, but it's typical size. Courtney, I won't say where, but you're in one of the most desirable neighborhoods in DFW, but a traditional lot size. And then I've got a big acreage property. So what are we doing in the yard that's unique to the season?
I mean, we're having fires.
Yes.
We're snuggling up. We're throwing the football. I mean, what else?
We're outside the front a lot right now.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be back.
Kids are all playing outside. We've got the basketball goal up. The inflatables are all going to go up soon.
Ooh, Ian loves the holiday inflatables.
My lights are up.
Do you know this? Do you know this about him?
That you love an inflatable.
It's Griswold-esque. Not the lights, but the inflatables.
Just as many as we can get.
Have you gotten any new ones this year?
I mean, I generally go shopping when we start putting them up.
Okay, so TBD on that. We'll circle back.
Do you have a theme, or you just go a smorgasbord?
Oh, smorgasbord. We used to go penguin theme. We went elf theme for a little bit.
Cute.
We did the Mickey Mouse Funhouse Club when they were all little, but now it is. I will take anything and everything. The gaudier, the better. Especially the 9-foot inflatable, multicolor rainbow unicorn that we have up.
This team is wild when it comes to Christmas.
Real nice, Clark. Real nice.
Do you have lights up?
Not yet, but very soon. We put the Christmas tree up last week.
Okay.
It's not like decorated. There's no ornaments or anything, but there's some reasons we're going to be traveling a little bit. We put the Christmas lights up. I went to Kirkland's with Dana, free ad there again too, and I bled a little bit on what they charged for their nice quality garland. Holy shnikes. Holy shnikes.
I'm telling you.
But it's going up the stairway, and I got to be honest, I love it.
I buy every bit of it. Garland.
Now, I'm a real Christmas tree guy.
You do.
Big surprise.
Historically, a real Christmas tree guy. But the amount we travel I've moved over, and we have a fake tree that I do really like. Now, we want a bigger one in the new house. We could use a little more height, but we didn't do it this year.
Y'all need an epic. Y'all need a Rockefeller Center tree.
We didn't do that this year, but that could be in our future when
Are you doing it in the corner?
I feel like if you did a Rockefeller Center tree, you're probably going to need a new roof, and so I probably wouldn't listen to Courtney on that.
You could do a 4-year Christmas tree.
His mic ran out of battery, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I'm all for it. We love the holidays, but the question was about the yard, right?
Yeah.
So
land.
So we're cooking outside more. We're having a drink on the patio, running around with the kids. We're in the garden more. We're on the pickleball court. We're out in the yard. We finally got a little water in the pond because we actually saw precipitation.
Wow.
So the treehouse will get used more. We'll do s'mores. We'll do some holiday meals. We'll have friends come visit, and we'll do chili and gumbo and all those kind of things. Those big group meals that are smelly to make, so you do them outside. So
just don't call them Friendsgiving, please.
I don't. Okay. I do maize giving. I do maize giving in May, so you can split the year and do it twice. But all that to say, as we head into both fall, winter, just from a weather perspective, and then also as you head into the holiday season, I kind of want to do an outdoor Christmas tree this year in the backyard.
I love this.
Just right in the middle of the garden.
Yes.
Big, full lights.
This is right. Yeah. This is the thing.
So we're getting fired up about all of it. The hot tub. It's hot tub season.
You're using your pool.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Love it.
We don't get invited, so.
Sometimes you do.
Okay.
All right, folks. How are you using your backyard this holiday season? And as we head into the fall and winter, let us know whether you have a big backyard or a neighborhood home or any other version of home. Let us know. Hit us up on the socials. Just find Todd Tremonti or Todd Tremonti Realtors just about anywhere. We're mostly active on Facebook and Instagram, but Courtney says we have TikTok.
We got the talk.
I've heard about it before. And we do have the YouTubes, and when I pluralize it, I mean it. We have a Homes on Land channel. We have an area info channel. We even have a coaching channel. So just look for my name on all the social stuff or text me right now. What are you doing? What are your favorite traditions? What are you going to do for the first time this year in the yard as it relates to fall, winter, or the holidays? 214-310-0008. And of course, if you're thinking about buying or selling, we guarantee to sell your home over the average price and under the average time. The and is really important, Courtney. We guarantee to sell your house over the average price, so like more than anybody else that's selling similar homes, and under the average time. So more money in your pocket, faster and less drama, and we guarantee that. 214-310-0008. Now, when you buy, we guarantee we will save you at least $5,000 throughout the process of purchasing a home. Lately, it's been 10, 20, 35 the other day. And of course, depending on your price range, it can be a lot more than that. We guarantee those results. We have a team of dedicated full-time experts who, of course, have a real estate license, but also are full-time, fully committed. Great educations, the best training in the world. Also help me train agents all over North America. We just hosted a big conference. These are the best of the best. We're very selective in who we hire. And then they go out and love on clients where their big trophies are not how much volume they've sold or their commissions. Of course, they feed their family with their commissions, but their trophies, their symbols of their success are the incredible client success stories that we have. If you just Google my name, Todd Tremonti, you'll find the Todd Tremonti home selling team, and you'll find, 700 and something 5-star reviews. More 5-star reviews than any other real estate agent or team in the area, period. Just Google Todd Tremonti or call us or text us, 214-310-0008. We guarantee to sell your home over the average price and under the average time, and we guarantee to save you at least $5,000 throughout the purchase process of buying your home. ToddTremontiTeam.com.
It's time for our favorite segment, Stump Todd.
Uh-oh.
And it's when we give him a word and see if he can connect it.
Before you give me the word, because I don't want you to give me too much time to think about it, can I brag on GoodGarageFloors.com?
Let's go.
So GoodGarageFloors.com gets my fall double endorsement, okay? I like it all year long. The garage floors are great. The pickleball court, the basketball court is great. But now we're using all of that more. Mm-hmm. So the other day we had tons of rain and there was some mud on the car. And so we pulled into the garage and flop, 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 it all drops off, right? Well, I grabbed this little simple squeegee thing we have, and because GoodGarageFloors.com made it look awesome, I literally just wiped it off without bending over, without touching it, put it out, pushed it out outside of the garage, outside of the house, and the rain just washed it away. Then we go out to the pickleball court, and not only are we playing pickleball and basketball, my girls are really into volleyball now. Dana's been coaching the school volleyball team.
Oh, yeah.
So we're using the pickleball court because our girls are little and they're not ready to overhand serve over a big net. So they're learning to serve on the lower net on the court that GoodGarageFloors.com did for us. And I'm just sitting here going, who are we to have this stuff? Well, I'll tell you who we are. We're people that know Chris and Tony and the guys over at GoodGarageFloors.com. So just go to GoodGarageFloors.com, and for the rest of the fall, they're still offering huge discounts to our friends, our clients, our listeners. Go to GoodGarageFloors.com and just tell them Todd Tremonti sent you. Now, what you got?
My word is Skittles.
Taste the rainbow. A rainbow, a variety of options that home buyers and home sellers and investors have, but sadly, due to their lack of preparation, they only are aware of one or two options. So think about a home buyer. They're like, when I'm 60-ish days out, I will then start calling people, whether it's a real estate agent or websites or brokerage offices or sellers, and I'll get going. Too late. You will not get the full taste of the full rainbow. You will not get all the variety of options you could have. You will drastically limit your houses you can choose from and your financial strategies and options. As a seller, people are thinking, we're going to move when school's out. So we'll start talking to someone in April or May, and then we'll get it done in June or July. Too late. You don't get to taste the full rainbow. You don't get all the options. Your options are extremely limited because you waited so late. So if you want the Skittles, if you want the whole rainbow, if you want all the options, just prepare early. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to commit to anything, but you do need to talk to a real estate pro. I certainly would tell you that in my professional opinion, I'm biased, but there's a reason. The Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team is your very best option. We will guarantee to sell your house over the average price and under the average time, as well as guarantee to save you at least $5,000 throughout the purchase process. We stand by that 100%. Now, that's a silly spin on Skittles, but I think it's a very easy way for you to remember. This is important. Most people get this wrong. Most sellers leave money on the table and end up being in the process of selling longer than they have to be. They end up putting up with more negative feedback, more drama. They end up having to reduce their price and give more than they should give, fix more than they should have to fix, wait longer than they should have to wait. And most buyers end up with fewer homes to look at, fewer strategies, and less leverage in negotiation. It shouldn't be that way. Get you some Skittles, taste the whole rainbow. Sidebar, one of the agents that we coach and train in League City, south of Houston, does those freeze-dried, cryo, whatever it's called, freeze-dried Skittles. Yeah. And he brought some to us. The candy corn was garbage. Not his fault. Candy corn just is garbage.
Sure.
Number two, the regular Skittles were quite nice, but the sour Skittles, freeze-dried, were a dang delight.
And then Jeremy's wife, Jeremy on our team, she took those and she made some macaroons with them.
Yeah. I'm not a macaroons fan normally because there's just not that much flavor there.
Honestly.
But I bet if you jam some freeze-dried sour Skittles in there,
Incredible.
I would eat those. I wasn't offered any of those 5 Arrows Bakery.
Oh, yeah.
5 Arrows.
5 Arrows Bakery.
4 or 5 Arrows? 4 Arrows?
4 Arrows.
4 Arrows.
They have 4 kids.
That's right.
Okay, what about when I'm buying and selling my house? I need to use Republic Title.
Listen, Republic Title is what we like to refer to as legitimate. RepublicTitle.com. Go check it out. Awesome calculators to figure out what your closing costs might be, what title insurance costs, what it does for you. The title company is the neutral third party that makes sure everyone does what they said they were going to do. Everybody gets what they're supposed to get. Everybody gives what they're supposed to give. That the process is insured and everybody's protected from some weird chain of ownership. And that you can sleep well at night knowing that you're going to close on time and everything's going to go well. No one does that better than Republic Title. I'm not kidding. We absolutely love the Richardson office, but we'll use any Republic office all over the market if we need to, depending on where we're located, where the property is. Just go check out RepublicTitle.com, and when it's time for you to buy or sell, let us know. Or if you have a different agent, let them know, hey, I want to at least look at Republic Title, the leader in title and DFW. RepublicTitle.com. Now, we are in the season where gratitude is the topic of the moment. But let me just pause everybody for a minute and remind you how grateful we ought to be that we do live in DFW, that we don't live in one of these markets where one of your most significant assets, your home, your property investments, your residential real estate, in other parts of the country and certainly other parts of the world, that is a volatile investment. The value is up and down, and the demand for it is up and down, and you can get stuck in some really bad situations. In DFW, we have one of the most healthy real estate markets in America, and it's getting better every day right now. If you're ready to buy or sell, now is a great time. If you're only buying, I would encourage you, if you, your family, and your finances are ready, do that ASAP. Give us a call, 214-310-0008. If you're selling and buying, now is an incredible time to do that. Give us a call, shoot us a text, 214-310-0008. Now, if you're only selling and going into a retirement facility, selling and moving in with family, then you can be a little more patient. Now is still a great time to do that. But you might find strategically that you might be a little bit better off in a more competitive spring-summer market, but you need to start your conversation now. And we can do a free strategy session for you anytime, but we block a lot of time out for those between now and the end of January. Give us a call or shoot us a text, 214-310-0008 or anytime at
TouchYourMoneyTeam.com.
And never, ever, ever forget.
Find out what your home would sell for right now in under a minute at TouchYourMoneyTeam.com.